Welcome. Let me ask you a question no one probably asked you before. What are you doing to protect your brain? You protect your phone with a screen guard. You protect your house with a lock. You protect your money in a bank. But what about the one thing that controls your entire life? Your brain. Most people never think about training their brain. They think memory loss is something that just happens. They say things like, I forget everything these days. I can't focus anymore. I walk into a room and forget why I came. My brain feels tired all the time. And they laugh it off like it's normal. But it's not funny. It's not harmless. It's not just age. And it's not just stress. What you're experiencing is mental decay, not visible from the outside. But inside, your memory is fading. Your focus is weakening. Your mental sharpness is slowly dying. And you know what's causing it? No training, no awareness, no defense. You use your brain every day to make decisions, solve problems, remember important things, speak, work, and plan your future. But how many minutes a day do you actually spend taking care of it? Be honest. Most people spend 0. You take care of your body by walking, stretching, exercising. You take care of your skin by washing it, applying cream, using sunscreen. But your brain, the most powerful, most important, most valuable tool you own, you just expect it to function even though you never train it. Let me tell you something that most people don't know. Memory is not a gift. It's a muscle. And like any muscle, if you don't train it, it will shrink, it will weaken, it will disappear. If you want to stay mentally sharp, focused, strong, confident, and in control of your thoughts, you must start exercising your brain. Not tomorrow, not next year, not when you feel ready. You start today. You start now. And you don't need complicated techniques or some fake genius trick. You just need a few simple, powerful daily brain exercises that anyone, even a complete beginner, can do right at home, right now. This video is not just about learning something interesting. It's about reclaiming your mental strength. It's about building a brain that remembers better, thinks faster, and lives longer. Because in this modern world, your brain is under attack every day. Social media is shortening your attention span. Multitasking is weakening your focus. Overstimulation is killing your memory. Notifications, noise, endless scrolling. They're destroying the very muscle you need to succeed. And unless you fight back, unless you take control, your brain will become weaker every single day. But if you follow the exercises in this video, not just watch, but actually do them, you will begin to feel something that most people have forgotten. Mental power, clarity, confidence, energy, control. Your memory will sharpen. Your focus will return. Your mind will become lighter, faster, and stronger. And most importantly, you will begin to trust yourself again. So, welcome to the most important training of your life. This is not entertainment. This is not motivation. This is a battle for your brain. This video won't just improve your memory and focus. It will also make your thinking and speaking clearer. As your brain gets sharper, your communication becomes stronger. While you train your memory, you'll naturally speak better, think better, and express yourself with more confidence in any language. Let's begin your transformation. The first exercise is called the memory chain game. It's one of the most powerful and simple ways to increase your memory. It's based on the science of association, which means connecting ideas together to help your brain remember them easily. Your brain doesn't remember things as single, boring pieces. It remembers them when there is a story, a connection, a pattern. So instead of trying to remember 10 separate things, we train the brain to link them together like a chain. Here's how. Pick 10 random words. They could be anything: objects, animals, actions, places. Example: tiger, phone, shoes, rain, candle, door, apple, train, balloon, glass. Now, if you try to memorize these 10 words just by reading them once, you'll forget most of them in 10 minutes. That's normal. The human brain isn't designed to memorize random words. But here's how you turn this into a powerful memory exercise. You create a weird, fun, emotional story using all the words in order. For example, one day, a tiger called my phone while I was buying shoes in the rain. I picked up the call under a candle that was hanging from a door. Then I threw an apple at a passing train. which popped a balloon and broke a glass window. Now repeat that story to yourself twice. Close your eyes. Then try to recall all 10 words in order. You'll find it shockingly easy. Why? Because your brain loves stories. It loves images. It loves emotional, funny, strange connections. That's how your memory works. Not by repeating boring lists, but by creating strange, vivid pictures that your brain enjoys remembering. It activates both the left brain logic and right brain imagination. It forces your brain to pay attention because weird stories are harder to forget. It builds strong associative memory, which helps in real life when you need to recall multiple things together. It strengthens both short-term and long-term memory. This simple exercise helps you remember shopping lists, remember names of people, memorize vocabulary, especially English words, prepare for exams, improve storytelling and speaking. And the best part? You can do this anytime, anywhere, while walking, during lunch, before bed, even in the shower. If you do it daily, just one story with 10 random words, you will notice changes within a week. Your recall speed gets faster. You forget less. Your brain feels sharper. You start remembering dreams, details, and even conversations better. Let's say you're learning 5 new English words today. Confident, delay, review, package, airport. Instead of memorizing them like a boring list. Do this. A confident man delayed his flight because he wanted to review a package at the airport. Now the words are locked into a scene. Your brain sees a man, the action, the location, and suddenly you remember. This works in every area of life, from learning languages to preparing presentations to remembering birthdays. In the morning, pick 5 random words and make a story. In the evening, try to recall the words without notes. Each week, challenge yourself to go from 5 to 10 to 15 words in a chain. It's fun, it's powerful, and best of all, it works. This is how you take control of your memory again, not with medicine, not with gadgets, but with daily brain movement, just like physical fitness. You've been taught to read, to memorize, maybe to write things down. But no one told you that one of the most powerful memory tools is this, your voice. Yes, speaking out loud is one of the most powerful, overlooked, and underrated ways to improve your memory. And yet, most people never use it. They read something once, then forget. They watch something interesting, then forget. They write notes, highlight books, underline sentences, and then forget. Why? Because they're only using passive memory. They're letting the information go in, but they're not practicing bringing it out. And real memory is not about putting things into your brain. Real memory is about getting them out when you need them. That's where this exercise becomes your secret weapon. Here's how it works. Whenever you learn something, a new word, a new fact, a new idea, a quote, a sentence, a name, a process, instead of just reading it or thinking about it, you say it out loud. You use emotion, rhythm, and repetition. You don't whisper. You don't mumble. You speak like you're teaching it, like you're performing it, as if you are the voice of your own memory. That act of speaking forces your brain to focus harder. Now, it's not just reading. It's building connections between your eyes, your tongue, your ears, and your brain. When multiple senses are activated, memory becomes 3 times stronger. When you speak out loud, you're activating auditory memory because your brain hears your own voice. You're using motor memory because your mouth and tongue are forming the words. You're engaging emotional memory if you speak with feeling. And with every repetition, you're building stronger pathways in your brain. This is why people who talk to themselves while studying often remember better. It's not weird, it's powerful. Speaking turns memory into something active, not passive. And that is the key to long-term retention. Here's how you can practice it. Choose something you want to remember. It could be anything, a grocery list, a few English words, a short paragraph, a quote, a fact, a rule, a method, a name, or even a date. Read it once, then speak it aloud. But not like a robot. Say it with feeling. Slow it down. Pronounce it clearly. Give it rhythm or even a funny tone. The more emotion and voice you add, the deeper it goes into memory. Let's say you're learning these 3 words: grateful, opportunity, challenge. Instead of just writing them down, speak them out loud. Say the word, spell it, define it, and use it in a sentence. For example, grateful, grateful. Grateful means thankful. I am grateful for this day. I am grateful for my life. I am grateful for this opportunity to learn. Opportunity. OPPORTUNITY. Opportunity means a chance. Every morning is an opportunity to grow. This video is an opportunity to upgrade my brain. Challenge. CHALLENG. Challenge means something hard, but I grow through challenges. Every challenge makes me stronger. In less than a minute, you've layered spelling, meaning, context, and voice into memory. That's 4 layers of memory working together. And you're 10 times more likely to remember tomorrow. Now take a quote. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Instead of writing it down 10 times, speak out loud 5 times, each with a different emotion. Calm, strong, reflective, fast, and powerful. Each time you change the tone, you're creating emotional and vocal memory anchors. That quote now stays in your head, not because you forced it, but because you performed it. You lived it. Want to remember your to-do list? Instead of typing it out, say it out loud while walking around your room. Then close your eyes and repeat it. Whisper it, shout it, sing it. Suddenly, your brain is listening to you. That's the power of your voice. You don't need a microphone. You don't need a partner. Just a few quiet minutes in the shower, while walking or before sleep. Pick a word, a fact, or a quote and say out loud like it matters. Record your own voice and listen back later. You'll be shocked at how much more you retain. The benefits are huge. Stronger memory, better focus, improved language skills, active recall, more confidence in speaking, better performance in interviews, exams, and conversations. For English learners, it's even more powerful because you're training your memory and you're speaking at the same time. You don't need a perfect brain to remember better. You don't need medicine. You don't need special genes. You don't even need to feel smart. You just need to show up and speak up. Because your brain listens to your voice. It remembers what you say with power. It remembers what you repeat with emotion. It remembers what you believe when you speak it like you mean it. This is not a trick. This is not a hack. This is training. This is brain fitness. This is real, and it works. Now, let's move to the next exercise, the recall technique. This daily ritual helps your brain become more alert, aware, and focused, while strengthening both short-term and emotional memory. It's simple but powerful. If you practice it consistently, you'll feel like your brain is finally awake again. Most people go through the day and forget 90% of it by night. They scroll, eat, work, watch, talk, but they don't register anything deeply. Their brain runs on autopilot, and memory cannot grow on autopilot. You don't remember what you didn't observe. You don't remember what you didn't process. You don't remember what you didn't review. This recall exercise is like a personal gym for your brain. Every night before you sleep, you guide your brain to retrieve information, organize thoughts, and review your day with awareness. That simple process builds strong mental pathways and trains your brain to hold on to details, moments, names, faces, lessons, and ideas far better than before. You can write in a notebook or whisper in the dark, but the key is consistency. You must do it every day. Imagine it's the end of your day. You sit down and reflect using recall. For example, I learned that the brain remembers better when I speak things aloud. I learned a new English word, intentional. I learned that I forget less when I repeat things with emotion. Next, reflect on emotions. Perhaps you felt proud after completing your morning routine. Maybe you felt frustrated when you couldn't focus for 30 minutes. Finally, recall a small detail you almost missed. For instance, you might have seen an old friend's photo on your phone and remembered a memory from school that made you smile. Without this exercise, you might have forgotten that moment entirely. Now imagine doing this every night for a week. Your brain starts noticing more things during the day, connecting learning with emotions, storing details in stronger mental folders, and becoming more alert, focused, and present. Why does this happen? Because your brain knows you will ask it later. The brain performs better when it knows it's being observed. This simple nightly ritual trains the 3 types of memory that matter most. Memory of information like facts, lessons, and names. Memory of feelings for self-awareness and emotional clarity. And memory of moments for sharper observation. And it only takes a few minutes a day. No technology, no app, no cost, no fake promises, just real mental training. Do this for 30 days and your recall ability will improve dramatically. You'll start remembering where you kept things, what people said in conversations, what you learned days ago, and even what you felt in certain situations. That builds emotional intelligence. This isn't just about memory. It's mindfulness, awareness, and memory mastery all in one. Now, let's move to visual snapshot training. This exercise strengthens your visual memory, attention to detail, and spatial awareness. Most people look at the world, but they don't truly see it. This training teaches your brain to notice, capture, and store images more accurately. It's especially useful for remembering faces, reading faster, navigating spaces, and staying mentally sharp. Think about how often people forget where they left something, what they just saw, or what someone was wearing. Memory lives in the details. The color of a cup, the way someone smiled, the item next to your keys, the shirt your friend wore, or the thing you spotted on a table that later disappeared. Training your brain to notice these details makes memory laser sharp. Here's how to practice it. Choose a space like your bedroom, kitchen, or desk. Stand in the center and observe carefully for half a minute. Then close your eyes or turn away and recall everything you saw. Be specific. Instead of just saying, there was a bed and a table, describe the red pillow on the left side of the bed, the blue book on the table, a cup with a pen inside, 2 coins near the lamp, and a black sock under the chair. When you open your eyes, you'll quickly see what you missed. The same works in the kitchen. Recalling details like a yellow plate by the sink, 2 forks crossed beside a glass, a half-filled water bottle, a salt jar with a broken label, a pink cloth on the oven, or a stain near the microwave. Practicing this daily sharpens your recall rapidly. Try it in new environments like restaurants, offices, or a friend's house. Take mental snapshots and test yourself later. Add challenges like recalling 15 items in under a minute. Use it to remember names and faces by focusing on visual cues. You'll find things faster, speak more clearly because you recall what you saw, read with sharper attention to words, and study smarter by picturing diagrams and notes more vividly. This exercise doesn't just boost memory. It builds a habit of paying attention to the world. And the more attention you give, the more your brain gives back. Your memory becomes richer, your awareness stronger, your conversations clearer. You'll appear more intelligent and sharp, not because you have more memory, but because you've trained yourself to notice more. Now let's talk about one of the most unique and powerful techniques for memory and focus, the backward walk with recall. This is not just a memory booster. It's also a mind-body coordination workout that strengthens the connection between your brain and your movements, building neuroplasticity, the ability of your brain to rewire and grow new connections. Your body and brain are deeply connected. Every movement you make sends signals back to your brain. When you challenge your body with something unusual, your brain wakes up. Walking backwards slowly and safely is one of the simplest ways to break mental autopilot and force your brain to focus. Add a memory challenge to it, and suddenly it becomes a full body, full brain training. This isn't a trick. Research shows that challenging your coordination while recalling information strengthens memory, improves focus, and sharpens attention control. It activates the cerebellum, the part of your brain responsible for balance, agility, and short-term recall. When you move in reverse, your brain can't rely on habit. It must become present. That's when memory training becomes 3 times more effective. To try it, find a safe space like a hallway or empty room. Think of a short list you want to memorize, maybe groceries, English words, personal goals, or people to contact. Read the list once, then put away. Begin walking backwards slowly, and with each step, recall one item from the list out loud. Once you've done that, try mixing up the order. Then challenge yourself by recalling the list in reverse while still walking backward. For example, if your list is milk, bananas, bread, soap, and rice, recall them step by step while moving backward. Then switch to the reverse order. By combining physical movement with mental recall, you force your brain to stay present, strengthening both focus and memory. You could even add variety. Recall sentences instead of words. Practice English phrases while walking. Try sideways steps or even rhythmic movements. Each variation makes your brain work harder, forming stronger connections. This is memory training at its best. Active, physical, engaging, and incredibly effective. You can even take the backward walk technique further. Try it with your eyes closed. Safely, of course, or increase your list to 10 items. Your brain will get faster at recalling under pressure, which helps you remember information in daily tasks, shopping lists, exams, and names. Over time, your brain feels lighter and clearer. You're training both focus and memory at once, while also improving mind-body connection, which strengthens thinking speed, balance, and coordination. This practice is especially powerful if you struggle with overthinking, brain fog, or feeling mentally slow in conversations. Just 5 minutes a day of this exercise will wake up your brain. Now, let's move to one of the most powerful memory tools ever discovered, the Teach to Lock It method. It's simple, ancient, and effective, yet most people never use it. The truth is, if you can teach something, you truly understand it. If you can't teach it, you never really learned it. Memory is not just about storing information. It's about being able to retrieve it clearly, confidently, and completely. And the best way to do that is to teach it. When you teach, your brain is forced to retrieve the information, organize it, explain it, fill in the gaps, simplify it, and reconnect it with logic. That is deep memory processing. Here's how to apply it. Learn something small, a fact, a short method, a new word, a quote, or even one of the memory techniques from this video. Then explain it to someone. It could be a friend, a sibling, a parent, or even to yourself in a mirror or into your phone. Write it out as if you're teaching it. Don't just repeat it. Break it down. Make it so simple that anyone could understand. That act of breaking it down is what locks it into your memory forever. For example, imagine you just learned the memory chain game. Without looking back, try to explain it from memory. You take 10 random words and make a crazy story linking them together. The brain remembers better when it connects ideas with images and emotions. If your words are tiger, phone, and candle, you might say, "A tiger called me on the phone under candlelight." That story helps you recall the words in order. Notice what just happened. You recall the method, explain the logic, create an example, and process the information deeply. That single act created new brain connections and permanently stored the exercise in your memory. When we read, we remember some. When we write, we remember more. But when we teach, we remember best. Teaching activates logical memory, verbal memory, social memory, emotional energy, retrieval memory, and self-correction. It reveals what you don't yet understand, while strengthening what you do. Here's a bonus. Record yourself teaching. Summarize a book, explain a quote, or teach an exercise, then watch it back. You'll instantly see what you remembered, what you forgot, and where you can improve. This becomes a mirror for your mind and a powerful feedback loop. You grow as a communicator. Remember more what you learn, improve your English fluency, build confidence, and deepen your understanding of everything. People who teach, even if only to themselves, grow faster than those who just consume content. This is how you truly lock information in your brain, not by watching hundreds of videos, but by teaching one lesson from memory. Your brain is not a storage unit. It's an active tool. You train it not by watching, but by speaking, recalling, and teaching. That's how you build memory like a fortress, and how you become someone who never forgets what truly matters. Now, let's train a different type of memory, auditory recall. This drill strengthens your ability to remember sounds, voices, words, and everything you hear. Most people focus only on visual learning, reading, watching, or writing notes. But in daily life, much of your memory relies on listening. Conversations, lectures, instructions, directions, even movies or podcasts. If you struggle to remember what you just heard, you can feel lost or disconnected. But if you train auditory recall, you'll feel sharper, more confident, and more present in conversations. Listening is passive. Recalling what you listen to is active. That's what builds memory. Here's how. Find a short audio clip, maybe a 30-second podcast segment, an audiobook passage, or even a friend's voice note. Listen once with full attention, without writing anything down. Then pause it. and try to repeat everything you just heard in your own words out loud. Afterward, replay the clip and compare. What did you remember? What did you miss? For example, you might hear this sentence: many people believe memory is a gift, but in reality it's a skill that can be trained like a muscle. Now pause and recall. Most people think memory is something you're born with, but it's actually a skill you can build like a muscle. The words may not be exact, but the idea is correct. That's active recall at work. As you improve, try longer clips and challenge yourself to summarize them in 3 sentences. Practice in noisy environments to build focus. Listen to different accents to expand your comprehension. Use new vocabulary and repeat it clearly. This exercise makes you better at remembering conversations, recalling instructions, and improving English fluency. It sharpens your listening power, speaking power, and brain power all at once. And now, let's move into a rapid-fire drill designed to strengthen short-term memory under pressure, the countdown recall game. In front of others, we're often asked to speak clearly under pressure, whether in interviews, exams, or conversations. And most people struggle not because they're not smart, but because their brain isn't trained to perform when time is ticking. This is where speed-based memory training comes in. It builds mental alertness, quick recall, and confidence in just a couple of minutes a day. Here's how you can try it. Look at a few random objects or words around you for about 20 seconds. Maybe items on your desk, names from your contacts, groceries, or even colors. Then close your eyes or cover the list. Without looking, try to recall as many as you can out loud or by writing them down. Check what you remembered, then repeat with new items. Your brain quickly learns, I must focus, I must remember, I must retrieve information under pressure. Over time, this sharpens not just your memory, but also your mental reflexes. Your ability to organize, react, and recall quickly. You can make it harder by recalling words in alphabetical order, repeating them backwards, adding background noise, or even turning it into a fun challenge with friend. Most memory training is done slowly, which is useful, but not enough. Life often demands quick thinking, and this exercise teaches your brain to stay calm, organize chaos, and recall fast without panic. It prepares you for interviews, exams, presentations, and even emergencies. Any situation where memory under pressure matters most. This simple game builds a mental edge that top performers rely on. Now let's move to one of the most personal and powerful techniques, mirror narration. This practice rebuilds mental clarity and memory through self-talk. It's not just a memory technique. It's therapy, focus training, confidence building, and identity strengthening all in one. At the end of your day, stand in front of a mirror. No need to dress up or prepare anything. Just look into your own eyes and begin to narrate your day out loud. Start with the moment you woke up, what you did, what you ate, who you spoke to, how you felt, what you achieved, what frustrated you, what you learned, and one moment you want to keep. Tell like a story, but not for anyone else, just for yourself. When you do this, something powerful happens. You relive your day, which strengthens memory. You activate your visual, verbal, and emotional systems together. You process experiences instead of letting them fade. You don't just review your life. You turn it into memory. For example, you might say, I woke up at 6:45 a.m. feeling tired, but managed to get up. I drank water before checking my phone, and that felt good. Later, I had a stressful meeting where I spoke too fast and forgot something important. But in the afternoon, I had a fun conversation with Jack that made me laugh. In the evening, I watched a video about brain training and felt proud that I didn't waste much time scrolling. I want to remember today as a day when I felt more in control. End your narration by saying one thing you forgive yourself for and one thing you're grateful for. This emotional weight helps memory stick. Over time, this ritual improves both short-term and long-term recall, strengthens storytelling skills, deepens emotional clarity, and reconnects you with your identity and goals. Do this consistently, and you'll remember your life more vividly than ever before. And finally, one of the most powerful brain exercises of all, teaching tomorrow you. At the end of your day, take one key thing you've learned and speak it as if you're teaching your future self. Record on your phone, write in your journal, or simply say out loud. Imagine tomorrow you receiving today's wisdom as a gift. This technique works because it combines memory, emotion, teaching, and visualization. You're not just remembering for now, you're anchoring it for tomorrow, for next week, for life. You stop forgetting the lessons, promises, and insights that matter. You make them part of your future identity. Most people learn and forget, but when you teach tomorrow you ensure that what truly matters never leaves you. Memory disappears when it isn't anchored to emotion and intention. But when you speak to your future self and teach what you learned today, you create a bridge that lasts. Your brain stores it not as information, but as something that matters, because you're using it, not just saving it. Here's how you can do it. At the end of your day, choose one important thing you experienced or discovered. It could be a new word, a lesson, a mistake, a feeling, or even a truth about yourself. Then imagine your future self listening. 24 hours from now, you only have a minute to teach them what they must remember. Speak it out loud, or write it down as a message to tomorrow. Say it with clarity, care, and intention. For example, you might sit down at night, open your journal, and say, "Dear tomorrow me, I need you to remember this. Today, I learned that when I speak things out loud, I remember better. The speak to memorize exercise really worked. Tomorrow, I want you to use your voice again. Don't just read silently. Say it, feel it, speak it, and remember how calm and clear you felt after mirror narration. That piece is worth repeating. That one simple message locks a memory like a vault. When you hear or read it tomorrow, your brain recognizes it. Yes, I know this. I live this. I must repeat it. And that's how one day of learning turns into lasting transformation. You build a record of growth, a pattern of reflection, and a habit of teaching yourself forward. You become your own guide. You build inner trust. You remember what others forget because you pass it on to tomorrow you. This ritual isn't about performance or perfection. You don't need an audience. You don't need likes. You don't even need perfect grammar. You just need honesty and intention. That's what strengthens memory. That's what builds self-respect. That's what creates a mind that doesn't forget who it is. Because in the end, the most powerful brain isn't the one that remembers everything. It's the one that remembers what matters. And you made it here to the end of this journey. That says something rare about you. Most people click away. Most people chase shortcuts. But you stayed. You gave your mind something it doesn't often get in today's noisy world. Care. Today, you didn't just watch a video. You trained your brain. You honored your memory. You reminded yourself that your mind deserves better. Your brain isn't broken, slow, or lazy. It's simply untrained. And today, you trained it. You gave it 10 powerful tools to remember, to reflect, to focus, and come alive again. You proved something vital. You don't need to be born with a great memory. You can build one. You can grow one. You can protect and transform it, starting right now. Your memory is your power. It's your history. It's your identity. Take care of it, and it will take care of you. So before you leave, remember this. You're not behind. You're just beginning. If you make these exercises part of your daily life, you'll not only remember more, you'll feel deeper, think sharper, live clearer, and most importantly, trust yourself again. That is the real gift of memory. And if this video gave you something, whether it made you think deeper, speak better, or simply reminded you that you're not alone, I invite you to subscribe. Not because I asked, but because you deserve more content that isn't noise, but growth. Subscribe not just for this channel, but for your own journey, your own mind, your own future. This isn't the end. It's the beginning. Thank you for staying until the end. You're rare, you're powerful, and your mind is worth everything. We'll meet again, stronger, sharper, better. Take care of your brain, because it takes care of you every second of your life. Subscribe now, and let's grow together.